workplace tasks. I just show that to an employer, they go, we need that.
Wow.
We need that. They see it, they understand it, it's industry language. That's why it's so useful in my mind. I mean, we did workplace literacy before essential skills came on. Oh, it was painful in terms of, do you know what, in essence, it's the same thing as the essential skills. It was less formalized, but even the word literacy sends people through the roof, both employees as well as the employers. I mean, that's, you know, essential skills, they go, oh, what's that? Oh, we need that.
Yeah.
And it's a 1-minute conversation, whereas before it was 3 years with the same guy. Really, it's okay, you know. Well, what does that mean exactly? And the language alone is enormously powerful, and that framework, the 9 essential skills and the profiles and the language around that, is an instant sell on the company side. Okay? And that's how we get the foot in the door, by the way. You know, we get in with that.
And the workers too. I worked with the longshore workers a few years ago, and I went through an essential skills profile with them. This longshoreman was almost in tears and saying, my kids think I'm leaving. Like they think what I do is, and I'm going to take this home and show them that I, you know, and it was just one of those moments where
Great, over there.
Hi. My role is to coordinate service delivery in St. John, Brunswick, and we're just babes in the woods, really, just getting started. But the marketing side of it, the selling, has gone terrifically. We're a highly industrial area, and of course, many of the things that you've mentioned has probably been the foot in the door. My question is around a huge challenge that we're now facing. You know, we have many, many employers that are now coming to us and wanting to engage, but we have a very small team of people to offer training. How do we keep employers engaged and, in fact, intrigued long enough to be able to get to them to provide something more than maybe some assessment of the workplace?
you know, sometimes it's about digging down a little bit deeper. Some organizations are more ready than others. And sometimes it may be about priority setting. And somebody might say, we're ready to go. And if you kind of look at some of those principles that we've been putting up, the partnership, the flexibility, I'm just trying to say this was me. What I would do is kind of make up a list of like who adheres to those, you know, one thing we didn't talk about is workplace education is based on change and challenge. And I said the other day, I counted it up, and I've done 200 workplace programs. And I haven't done one that there hasn't been a change or a challenge. Things are going well, and they want to do a program, I wonder. So, you know, think about those high-level things like partnerships and readiness and administrative capacity, union involvement, and then look at who has a change program, who really needs, who's bringing an ISO, who's you know, expanding their company. You know, try and think about that, because I've had many companies that say, I want to go right away, and then they're like, let's do it after Christmas. So it's kind of interesting. I don't know about you, but
Yeah, you get the flow. You know, keen to start, and then, okay, we need to wait, and this stop-start business is a harbinger of what we do. And you just sort of get used to it, and you figure out your pace after a while. You know, you get a feel for the pace. One of the things that we had to start looking at was ultimate models. So could actually the technical trainer at the company included in some of what they're doing and embedded in there? Could you train the technical trainer to do it? Those kinds of sort of innovative models. Stay outside the box. And the question is, how could we make this work? Yeah.
it's a problem.
Yeah, it's a good problem.
I think just a couple of minutes left. Doug?
Just a quick question. Which group provides the impetus for workplace education? Is it the Chamber of Commerce? Is it the union? Who's the first one to come and say, we want workplace education provided here?
Varies. Could be your neighbor, could be someone head of the sector council, could be someone, you know, what the hockey rink who says, what do you do again? You know, so it really varies. And when we talk about marketing, you know, I always say you can't just do one thing, you have to do everything. I mean, we've had TV commercials $5,000 ads in the paper, and we get as much by going to talk to the Chamber of Commerce breakfast, so it varies.
Often it will be human resource or the VP in a company that identifies it. In the smaller regions, it could be a chamber that ends up speaking for a number of businesses. So you run a course where you have people coming from a variety of businesses to one sort of central thing. So in the smaller regions, it could be done like that. Again, you look at how is this place working? How is Owen Sound working? How is, Wyerton, Ontario? How do they, who do people congregate around? Who's leading the charge? And get them on board as the champion.
I think this may be our last question, so we'll try and be quick.
Okay, that's an interesting thought. Now, if say unions, came to government and said, we need your help, would government come along with the union and help argue for, not argue, but present the arguments, the case for a program with an employer? Would they support?
Oh, yeah.
Sure, yeah. We have a provincial advisory committee, just like you folks, and Labor's there, and yeah, we want that for sure, yeah.
Yeah. We
They're
also,
our partner as much as I want anyone else, for sure.
yeah. And we also have union training centers that have hoisted this on board. So we treat them like an employer, if you will. They're the champion. They're the people requesting, so we work with them just like we would with a company that's making a request. As well as in the situation where a shop steward would come forward and request it, normally it's not the shop steward themselves that will actually place the call, but rather they will go to the HR person in the company, and the HR person typically makes the call and says, the union has requested, would you come down and talk to us?
And do not only talk to the employers, but would they talk to the employees as
Oh,
well?
yes.
Because there's a lot of stakeholders in this.
Yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Employee support is, because our programs are voluntary, so if they don't get the right communication, they're probably not going to show up for the program, and then you've done a lot of work for nothing.
All right. Well, once again, I'd would like to thank Sandy and Joe, and I know I learned a lot, and I'm sure everyone else did, and thank you for coming to the session so early in the morning. All right, cheers, guys.